Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And well, today I'm going to be reviewing the Nemesis rinseless wash for you. Now, I actually had this video all set to go, and there's some new information that came to light that kind of changed my, I guess, review a little bit of it. And so I'm recording this part separately or again. And in fact, even my final thoughts I'm recording again. And in fact, I'm just redoing the entire video. So anyway, let's get to it, okay? So first of all right, what is the Nemesis rinseless wash? It is a rinseless wash from the Detail Company, which is Eddie Cologne, Jamie Pardee, and as we found out recently in one of their podcasts, the THOR podcast, a third investor. So anyway, and now they have a lot of brands on board. It is obviously their brand, Detail Company, Pan the Organizers Clean, along with Phoenix EOD and Bio Bombs and a bunch of others. They actually got a great lineup. Armored Detail Supply, they got a great lineup. In fact, I have a link below. Coupon code TOD10 saves you 10% at THOR House of Rags or thehouseofrags.com. But anyway, let's get to the review here, okay? So number one, the price on this, let's get to the specifics. Price on this, 16-ounce bottle, $9.99, 10 bucks. Best deal, 16-ounce bottle, best deal there is, okay? 10 bucks. Gallon, $38.99. There's only a couple that I'm aware of that are in the $40 or sub $40 price range, and this is one of them. Fantastic deal for what you get, and I'll save the rest of that statement for my final thoughts. But $38.99 for a gallon, fantastic deal. And again, TOD10 saves you 10% more off of that. So I don't know if you're going to get better than 35 bucks a gallon for something like this, okay? We also use their Detail Company sponge, $18.99, and I'll go over that in my final thoughts too, because I really like this sponge. In fact, I have probably two favorite sponges now. In fact, I wish they could integrate the technology, because I think it would be like basically the ultimate sponge. Dilution ratio, normal dilution ratio, 256 to 1. All right, so 1 ounce per 2 gallons of water in normal dilution, or, okay, as a waterless wash or quick detailer, 128 to 1. I wouldn't suggest using it as a quick detailer because it's pure surfactant based. There's no polymers. There's going to be no slickness for you. But as a waterless wash, I think you're going to do pretty good. It's going to have massive cleaning power. In fact, what I would do is I would pre-treat maybe at 128 to 1, spray it on the surface, and then use double flips that were soaked in your rinseless at your normal dilution ratio to just do kind of like, it is a waterless wash in a way, but not really, because even a waterless wash, you have to spray on the surface and then wipe. I don't like to use dry towels, even spraying, you know, on the outside. I only do that with door jams. Just my personal opinion, okay? Or drying aid or glass cleaner, as a drying aid or glass cleaner at 64 to 1. We'll get back to that later. In fact, I'll explain that in a little while too, in my final thoughts. Now, like I said, this is available exclusively at the House of Rags. I don't know if they have any plans to distribute through other brands right now or through other places. But the House of Rags right now is your only distributor. So what I want to do is I'm going to show you my initial test video. In fact, just clips of it. I'm not even going to show you the whole video because it's probably 20 minutes long, just that alone. I'm going to show you some clips of it just with my initial thoughts. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to do a wash and talk kind of. And also in my initial test video, there is a section, I believe, where I did like glass cleaning testing at the 64 to 1 dilution ratio. And what I'm going to do is insert in there, I have a picture, I found a picture that I took of my cell phone. And what I did is I accidentally dropped the can of Monster Energy on the ground. It punctured, sprayed up all over the inside of my car and got on the windshield. And then what I did was I quickly wiped it with a rag because it was at night. And then I didn't realize just how it just streaked, it smeared around. And so for 2 weeks, it kind of just baked in the sun. So what you see in the video there that I'm going to show you, or the clip that you're going to see on the glass cleaner, is actually in the 80-degree weather, baked on for several weeks. And well, I'll let you be the judge. But anyway, and we'll come back to that with my final thoughts as well. So anyway, without further ado, here is some clips of the initial testing that I did several weeks back. And then I'll be right back with you, and I'll kind of go over some of the highlights and low points of what I like and dislike about this rinseless wash. So anyway, let's get going. We're going to review, or we're going to do some testing on the Nemesis here. And in fact, usually I use some of these, all right? But we're not using these today because the Nemesis has cosmetic grade ingredients in it, which means, or surfactants, which means skin safe. So we're going to toss these aside today and just go skin. We have a nice dirty vehicle. I've driven probably 200 miles. It's been raining since the last wash. Lots, I mean, even under the door handle, you could see right here, we have these streaks coming down of dirt. The front door, just everything's dirty. And so we're going to be testing this a couple different ways. All right, so the first thing we're doing, we're going to spray the front door. All this stuff that you see, we're just gonna pre-spray the whole bottom. All right, and we're gonna let it dwell maybe 30 seconds. And then we're gonna do a quick rinse with the Rinseless, with the Nemesis here. And we're gonna see just how much of this actually comes off. All right, 30 seconds later, I can see, so we've pre-sprayed, I could see the dirt showing up through there. So now we have our IK. All right, so we are just going to do kind of like a flush. All right, so hopefully now with any luck, a lot of that dirt came off. So let's grab the towel and see. All right, so it's been a minute. I actually got some Costco towels. So, and I don't recommend you guys ever do this, but I just want to see how much that might have flushed off the surface. This is the first time I'm ever doing this. So, and as you can see, all right, there was still some dirt on there. All right. In fact, guys, I think I'm going to start doing that on reviews from now on. I'm going to spray it. I'm going to try and rinse with the Rinseless and see how much dirt actually comes off and what it leaves behind. We want to see just how well it encapsulates and starts pulling that dirt off. We're going to wring out a double flip. All right. And let's see how this feels. All right, lots of dirt. You can see right there. It's not the slickest feeling. It glides across the surface okay, I guess. Definitely not the slickest feeling. But it does glide pretty nice. I will, you know, let me see this here. In fact, that was just on the bottom of the door right there. We'll use a different section of the towel. So it's gliding across a little bit more, you know, on the clean paint. But actually, you know what? This is we'll see when we get to the hood. All right, guys, so I have the back door sprayed down, and we're going to be using or testing out their own sponge. All right, and there's this thing holds, like, literally, holy cow. This thing holds a lot of freaking water. I mean, it holds a lot of water. This is no joke, this sponge. This is pretty awesome. Let's see how it feels. Okay. With the sponge, and you can see there's a lot of dirt coming right off. In fact, let me just finish, and then we'll do a dunk test really quick. Since you guys seem to like the dunk test, the one dunk test, we'll actually get all the dirt we can off of this thing. All right. So we got a nice dirty sponge. All right, so we're going to go in for the one dunk test. You can see how dirty that is. And in fact, you could see it actually, the bucket, the Nemesis here, it does foam some. It doesn't foam a ton, but it does foam more than others. So you could see that. But anyway, so we got the sponge there. We're going to put it in. All right, we're going to squeeze it. We're going to fill it up with water. In fact, you could see just how many suds came out, okay? So in fact, literally just squeezing it and filling it with water, it's almost completely clean. And in fact, let me squeeze this out. And you could see all the foam. I mean, this thing is foaming quite a bit. But look at that. I swear to God, guys, this stuff smells freaking amazing. Like, literally, you need to be, like, I feel like I should be listening to Barry White as I'm washing my car here. All right. Actually, I want to try this with... Oh, yeah, and it's... If you're using the Ultra Safe Sponge from the rag company, this thing slides across the surface super, super easy. This is nice and slick. All right, guys, know what I did? Hopefully you could see all the water spots. I just washed the window. We're going to let this dry as much as we can because I want to see if that's going to wipe right off. And, well, yeah, you got to be able to see that. So anyway, let's get to the hood, and then we'll come back and we'll hit the drying process. All right, guys, let me show you something on the surface. Now, granted, this does not have currently any ceramic protection on the paint, but I sprayed the Nemesis here on the hood, and it literally, like, it wet the whole hood. Okay, there's no beading. A lot of other products out there, when you spray it, you'll see little water beads forming. This literally just flooded the hood. So let's see. Okay. I am, all right, I'm sold. And this is a nice, dirty car, as you can see. Personally, I think the Ethos might be slicker, but this really, this is definitely a go-to. Let's go across. Oh, this is nice. This is very nice. The sponge is gliding across the surface. You could see, in fact, let me show you. Nice and dirty. All right, I'm going to do the one dunk test. Sorry, it's going to be off camera because the bucket's on the ground. Hopefully you can hear this though. All right, I dunked it in, out of the bucket, and here you go. All right, clean. Other side's clean as well. And yeah, like this is, oh my God. Yeah, this is among the slickest rinseless washes that I've tested this year. Oh wow, guys, yeah, this is This is insane. Like, this is definitely easily, yeah. This is easily top 5. It's getting everything off. It smells fantastic. It's slick on the paint. No need to wear gloves. And it's inexpensive. All right, guys, so the first towel we're going to test on the dry off is just the standard liquidator from the rag company. All right, it's got a blue side, a gray side. We're just going to fold it, and I just want to see if it bunches up or how it feels. So it does want to, it is a little draggy going off across the surface. I mean, it's picking everything up. There's no streaking whatsoever that I could see. It's picking up all the water, but it's not necessarily the smoothest thing. In fact, let me go to the other side. I'm still on the wet side that I've used on the whole hood. And yeah, with the liquidator, it's not the smoothest process, I should say, for the dry off. It can be used as a glass cleaner or a drying aid, which, and I'm going to show you in a minute, glass cleaning, because I have a mess on my hands in the driver's side window. So I'll be right back. This whole thing is like complete film on the window from the Monster Energy. Let's see if mixed at that 1:64 dilution, how it works as a glass cleaner. Couple sprays. Got my Costco microfiber again. All right. And we will flip to a clean inside side and see how we do. And from what I can tell, I see not a streak in here. Actually, the glass is really smooth too. Everything is completely dried on the glass. All the polymer, or not polymer, but all the surfactants, whatever is in the Nemesis, dried on the glass. So let's see, and I just took my liquidator. This is a little bit damp from our previous testing, but let's see. Oh, no issues at all. Boom. Came right off. Nice, clean, streak-free windows. So it works. Comes right off, no problem. All right, guys, so now that you saw my initial impressions, there are a few things that changed about it, and I'll go over those in a minute. The first thing that I really like about this, and I'm going to show you a little picture or a clip right now, because on an uncoated car, as you can see, it wets the surface extremely well. It covers every square millimeter of the surface. The wetting on this product is absolutely crazy. The coverage is perfect. On a normal coated car, everything's gonna beat up. I mean, it's coated. It is what it is, you know. That's just how coating works. One of the things that I notice with this Rinseless especially, and it doesn't matter what sponge I use, whether it's the Nemesis sponge or whether it is my test sponges, my, oh, what do you call them? The Ultra Safe sponge. All right. It is super slick. So super slick on the sponge. It doesn't matter whether it's a coated car or an uncoated car. I mean, right now, this is a coated car, but it also has like a protectant on top of that, some ethos. So this is absolutely super slick. If I was to let go of the sponge right now, it would probably just slide. Yeah, there you go. It just slides right off where I applied the topper. So anyway, super slick on the sponge. Really, really good. All right, so now the other thing is, this sponge is absolutely, in fact, not necessarily with the Rinseless, but this sponge is a great sponge. And let me try to show you why, okay? Because it has these grooves in it, which they all do, okay? But this thing is, number one, it's a good size. I wear size XL gloves. This sponge is literally the size of my entire hand, all right? And it holds a lot of water. So you just saw me do that. Now it's barely dripping now, but look how much water I could squeeze out of this thing. A ton of water. Even when you squeeze it out in the bucket, it still holds a lot of water. This is completely unlike a lot of other sponges on the market, where in order to keep it from dripping, you have to almost squeeze it like this, dry. This one actually holds a lot of water. I am wearing gloves, but there is no need for gloves when using this product. It has cosmetic grade surfactants. And if you actually use this without gloves, you will notice that there's a little bit softness to your hands after using it. And what do I mean by that is, oh, there goes my bucket. If you use normal rinseless washes that are especially surfactant based or surfactant heavy, all right, you will notice later, your hands will feel tight. You will feel like you need to add some like lotion in your hands, because your skin will feel like it's like your skin is cracking almost. I don't like that feeling, and so needing to, or feeling like, when I use this, when I've not used gloves, if my hands don't feel like they're going to crack or like they're all dried out. So I really like and appreciate that. Now, there we go. So the cosmetic grade surfactants, I really like that. Let's see here. I got notes here in the on the dash, so I'll keep referring to that. So because I want to make sure I hit all the fine points. Now I mentioned the glass cleaning. All right, so it worked well with no streaking. I haven't had any issues with that. I've tested it other places without dirty glass, and I didn't see any issues with streaking, so there's that. Now, because this is a polymer, or not a polymer, because this is a surfactant-only base product, okay, there is nothing left on the surface. Now, that is a good and a bad thing for me personally, all right, because, and I'm going to get to this in a minute, for me, it's a bad thing because I like to feel a little bit of slickness on the towel. Actually, I like a really slick towel on the dry off, to be honest with you. And well, this, even diluted at 64:1 as a drying aid, does not provide me any slickness on the towel. In fact, this is, if it had better slickness on the towel for me, it might actually be the top product that I've ever used, or the top rinseless. So anyway, slickness on the towel, I really like. Now the other thing, slickness on the towel is non-existent, I should say. Even mixed with a drying aid at 64:1, it is non-existent, okay? So that is bad. Now, what I really like about this, in fact, let me get to the other side. So there we go. Okay, so number one, what I really like about this, it is literally the best smell ever in a car wash detailing product that I've ever smelled. When you smell this, when you start using it, like for me, the scent is up there. It is toasted coconut and strawberry. And as At least that's what EC says. And I said, hey, listen, you had to have had help from some ladies figuring this one out. And what he said was, he said, yeah, there were 4 of them that gave him the approval. And to be honest with you, if when you smell this, like, I almost feel like I need to put on some like Marvin Gaye or Luther Vandross or who else did I think of? Oh my God, Barry White. That's it. Like literally, the scent in this, the ladies I'm sure will love this scent. In fact, we'll go around to the other side of the car. I'll bring you with me. I just absolutely love it. I'm a fan of smells. I go to Yankee Candle, you know, I grab stuff. I like to make the house, the apartment, the condo smell good. Just my personal preference. Oh, guys, yeah, I hate this. These coiled hoses suck. I like the ones better with just the lay flat hoses. But anyway, so scent is awesome. Now, the one thing that I didn't have in my original video, that in fact why I need to record this is, and why I didn't release this sooner, is that this is extremely bucket stable. And what I mean by that is a lot of you guys like to mix product, all right? Look at all that foam. A lot of you guys like to mix product and then let it sit in a bucket for a week, 2 weeks. You're always asking people, you know, online and stuff, people are always asking, how long will this last in a bucket? And the answer on this stuff, okay, if you're using distilled water, I would say this can almost be sitting there indefinitely, to be honest with you. Now, that would be if you're not, you know, putting your dirty sponge back in it. And the reason I found this out and the reason why I changed the video is because when I started doing long-term testing, what I did is I put in a separate bucket, I put this product and another new product in a bucket, and I just kind of let them sit there. And what I found was that after a week, the other product that I was testing, it lost almost all its smell, number one, but it also it lost all its scent, and it started like separating in the bucket. In fact, it looked pretty nasty. It was almost like, I don't know if it was congealing. It was one of those things where I don't want to like, I would have just, in fact, I just did dump it out. When I realized that, hey, it lost its smell and everything else, I just wound up dumping it out. Now, the other thing is with the other product that I was testing, inside my sprayer, what I found was that it actually started smelling nasty in there. Like it smelled like just moldy water, like stale water. If you know what I'm talking about, if you you know what I'm talking about. It just smelled like stale water. And so now this, after 2 weeks, this one was absolutely perfect. It didn't go bad in the wash keg. It didn't go bad in the bucket. It didn't start separating. It still had almost every, like it smelled just like it did if I poured it fresh. So that is basically like, to me, that elevated the product. So we have slickness, we have cleaning ability. It passed the one dunk challenge, as you saw originally. So, you know, the bucket stability is great. Now, what's bad about this? So it has no slickness on the dry off whatsoever, not even with the 64-to-1 drying aid, none of that stuff at all. All right, and it foams like crazy in the bucket. In fact, you've probably seen, I haven't been to the bucket too many times. I'm still working on the car. But anyway, I want you to see. In fact, let me bring you in really quick. All right, I want to show you this bucket for as many times as I've dunked this, you know, maybe 10 times. So whatever you're doing your car, this thing is completely full of foam. This is why I'm also remaking this video, because as much as it foams, number one, I tried it in a foam sprayer. It does not work. It does not, it's not like FineLab V3 or the Hyper Foam that I just did the review on. It doesn't foam like that. I put it in my foam sprayer. I mixed 2 ounces of product per 32 ounces, and it did not foam out of there. It just like, it kind of looked a little bit like this. Just hardly anything there. So it foams in the bucket a lot for me, but the reason why I'm redoing this is that EC came out with a new video. Well, actually, it's been a couple weeks now, that he said they were doubling the amount of defoamer in the product, but they also identified that it's possible that during the bottling process, between transport from mixing to bottling, that some of the product had started separating. And now when I dilute, I always take the product, I shake it up a little bit, I rock it, you know, I don't shake it vigorously, I just rock the bottle, I make sure it's mixed. So, but I think they identified that it's possible that in the bottling process, some of that's separated out, because some people are having no problems with foam, some people are having, like me, I'm getting a ton of foam. And so they've identified a cause, and they are fixing that with additional checks, with additional mixing, and with testing of bottles from the front end of the batch, middle of the batch, and end of the batch. So they are really taking the quality control seriously, and I really appreciate that. So anyway, so by the time that you get your product, they will probably already have the new stuff in hand. So those are the only 2 downsides for me. So where do I rank this? Okay. Number 1, I give this a solid 3. Originally, I had this tied for number 3 with another product, another new product, because that product didn't foam at all, and because it also had a fairly good scent. They both felt slick on the surface, but like I mentioned, this one is very bucket stable. And like I said, I know a lot of you guys like to just mix up a bucket and let it sit there for a week or 2 with your double flips in there and just use it as necessary. So that elevated this product. Why doesn't it get like a number 2 or number 1? Well, number 1, because the foam. Until the foam is completely fixed and I've been able to test it for myself, it doesn't deserve a number 2 or a number 1, to be honest with you. If it was the other products that I tested this against, in fact, let me show you a photo right here, right now. This is, I did A/B testing against 6, I went head-to-head 6 of my favorite products, or what I think are my best products right now. I went head-to-head, kind of A/B testing, side-by-side on panels, and this one, unfortunately, there was 2 other products that were, to me, slicker on the wash. So what does that mean? You know, these 2 other products, number 1, they don't quite smell as good, but they are slicker on the wash. They clean just as well, in my experience, no issues whatsoever. And, you know, so this is a solid number 3. Now, if the foaming is fixed in this, I would probably say, because of the wetting effect on the panel, because that's a definite positive over the other ones that I've tested, the wetting on the panel and the scent for me would probably place it as a tie for number 2. If that defoamer, if something added just a little bit extra slickness, it would probably be a number 1, to be honest with you. If there was a little bit of slickness on the towel on the dry off, it would probably equal the other ones that are above it right now for me. And it would easily be, this would be my number 1 rinseless wash. But as of right now, it's a number 3 for me. Probably, it's really close to number 2. And the other one kind of fell back into a distant 4th, maybe even almost a tie for 4th with the 5th place one, because it's not stable at all in the bucket. So anyway, that's kind of my review. Now, oh, the other thing, let me show you. All right, guys, the other thing I wanted to show you, if it dries on the surface, number 1, if you just wet it back down, it has no problem with the wiping off. It doesn't leave stains. It doesn't stain your paint. It's not like baking into the paint. But you could see, though, in fact, almost my entire bit of glass has been dry now. It's sitting in the sun. It's actually like, this is warm. But if I just go like this, look at that. That stuff just wipes right off. Nothing left on there at all. In fact, the towel is completely dry. I didn't wet this down before, but any polymer spots, or not even polymer because there's no polymer in this, the surfactant just wipes right off. Even hot glass. I'm not going to do it on the paint. I don't want to mar my paint. I'll just wet it back down. But I just kind of wanted to jump in here and explain. It wipes, this stuff is, it's just like most other rinseless. I mean, most other rinselesses are like this, but this one, exceptionally easy. And that's another reason why I placed this in my top 3, because the other ones in the top 3 also have no problem wiping off. So anyway, just wanted to jump in and say that. So back to it. Let me show you one thing because, well, I'll be right back. Guys, so I mentioned that this has no slickness on the dry off for me, but and all the products that are above it for me on the list have a little bit of slickness on the dry off. And what I mean by that is on bare paint, or even on this car, which is, it's got Can Coat Pro, which I don't know if I got a bad can or bad bottle or batch or whatever it is, but there is like zero slickness on this whatsoever. And the hydrophobics just for me aren't like superior. But anyway, all right, so you're gonna need a drying aid. When I use this, I definitely wanna use a drying aid, all right? And so you can either use the ceramic sealant from Detail Company as a drying aid. It's gonna leave a couple weeks of protection, okay, used as a drying aid on a wet car, because when you spray, you're diluting it. You spray it on a wet car, you're diluting it, you're not using it neat, you know, or straight up, so to speak. If you guys don't know what neat is, it means straight up. No water. You could also use something like C6 Mist. Now this is extremely expensive. I probably wouldn't recommend this because, you know, in my experience, something else that's even cheaper, it has a little tiny bit of protection, lasts like 5 minutes in the rain. It's much cheaper and it's probably better, to be honest with you, which is this one here from Jax Wax, the Body Shine. It's just like a polymer, works great as a drying aid, and in my testing I found that it leaves like 5 minutes of protection in the rain, so I just needed to provide a little bit of slickness. Now the other things that I've also used, and these are just in random sprayers, Amplify from Armor Detail Supply, also available through THOR, the House of Rags, and then Ethos Body Shine. This stuff I really like too. And this actually lasts a couple weeks, to be honest with you, even in the rain and everything. So, and when used as drying aid, I really like this stuff. And then the other thing too, is if you have other rinseless washes, Eco Wash as a drying aid, 1 to 20. This stuff, I mixed this stuff in a bottle, God knows how long ago. I mixed like a gallon of it up and I just keep pouring it in here. And it doesn't separate. It doesn't leave like a ring around anything. But anyway, I know this is all about the Nemesis, but really quick, there are 6 different drying aids that you could use that will provide between 0 and a couple weeks worth of protection on top of your car, whether it's coated or uncoated. So anyway, as a wash, the Nemesis, again, number 3 for me, fantastic product. I can't wait to see how like a version 2, how it gets better. I think I saw that they were coming out with maybe a hybrid rinseless where it could foam. And, you know, if they even do maybe like a special seasonal scent, that would be really freaking cool. I don't know what else to say, guys. The Nemesis rinseless wash from the House of Rags from Detail Company. Fantastic first try. Easily, like, it makes my top 3. It's almost at that number 2, number 1, because number 2 and number 1, I'm really kind of splitting hairs, and it's based on like scent and slickness and stuff like that. For me, on the top 2, they're just fantastic. But this even with this sponge, I mean, you know, this sponge is just, I love this thing. Like I said, if I could hybrid this with another one, I would be in heaven. And at that price is pretty good too, because other ones that are that size and to me that kind of quality are, I think, 25 bucks. You might know which one I'm talking about. In fact, they sell that one too at the House of Rags. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching this video, and hopefully this comes out, because it's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty sunny out here and it's pretty chilly. But well, thanks for watching. And you know, it might be getting cold outside, but it's never too cold to keep it clean. I'll talk to you later. Bye.